Alrighty, well today's another day in Demopolis, Alabama. We haven't hauled out yet. We'll haul out next week. So we've been here for a week and it's hot. It's 104 in the shade basically. So we're looking at trying to do some stuff in the boat to prep for the haul out. So part of our haul out is to replace the transducers in the hull. And I'll get to that in a minute, but we're replacing up here is our wind instrumentation. These are old Raymarine, the ST60, they call it a tri-pack. One of them will give your depth, the other can give you your speed, and the other is wind. The wind works great. It's 4.4 knots right now, and it's 90 degrees off the right side, so I like that display. Fathometer works intermittent. Right now it's blank, and then our speed went away this last year, so we bought a brand new set of Garmin wind instruments, another sail pack. It will only use 2 displays, and I'll show you those. So we will have a hole. I'm going to have to figure out how to do it. The wind just changed direction, or so. Anyways, these are old. These are getting replaced. The other transducer, as you can see on our Garmin display, whenever I start it up, I get an unsupported transducer connected. It's an old transducer. It's probably original to the boat. And this Garmin really doesn't support that transducer. It was spliced and changed, and they put a new connector on it. So how I get this to work, actually, I have to go in the console, unplug it. I spray it with an electric cleaner and plug it back in, and then it'll start receiving it. Plus the little tightening throw knob on it is missing. So it needs to be redone. So 2 transducers. One originally came up to this display, the other came up to our Garmin. The boat was really nice. They have the NEMA 2000, which is a National Electronic Maritime Association 2000. Basically, it's a backbone, electronic backbone. It uses plug and play basically, so it's one wire per se goes through the boat. And any device can plug into that wire, that backbone, and then they all connect together and they can all talk. The Raymarine isn't on that. That's all independent. And so now with the Garmin displays, we will be able to connect it to the backbone. So that transducer in theory will also talk to this display, and so it'll all connect together, and also probably into our autopilot too. And it can give crosswind inputs to help the steering. So, those are displays. Here's the new Garmin Sail Pack that we purchased. Came in the box. So it's got 2 displays that comes with it, which is pretty nice. They'll be multicolor. I may get a 3rd display just to fill in that hole, and then instead of switching back and forth, I can have 3 displays, just to fill that hole. But it'll be the same thing, the wind, and then much more than I need on this boat. A lot of sailboats use these to really help determine where the wind is, and for tacking and stuff like that. So here's the 2 displays. They're still on the covers. It's real nice displays. This is basically the brain for it, the GND10 that the wind instrument will connect into, and then it'll connect to, here's the backbone, the NEMA 2000. This is another one. We have about 4 of these on the boat that connect, and items go in. You do have to power it, so there's a power port that goes into here, and then this will connect on to your devices. Here's the wind direction and speed. This will be mounted up on the mast, the very forward of the mast. We have one right there now, so it'll connect to the top of the mast and point forward, and then this will pivot around, and of course we'll put the speed wheel on it when we mount it. That'll give us speed, wind speed. So we'll have wind speed and direction. This looks pretty nice. Looks like it's carbon fiber. This is a cable that connects to it in 75 feet that'll come all the way down and connect to it. They do have a wireless one. I didn't want to mess with that. I'd just rather run a cable. The other cable I'll be able to connect to and just pull it right down the mast. It comes down through here, over, I believe it comes up, and then through this channel all the way back over to here. So it'll take a little while to fish it through, but this all will be able to be removed, and I'll be able to access behind here and pull it through. So that's why we're going to go ahead and do it now before we get hauled out. It's something we can
do in the air condition.
Do in the air condition, exactly. And it came with all the instructions. So what I'm going to do today, this isn't going to be ready to install for a couple days. I may need new cables, longer cables. This connects to the back of the display. I thought about mounting the GND computer thing underneath the console where the other ones are, but as you can see, that's probably 2 feet, 10, 12, probably 15 feet. These are maybe 6 foot. You have to be careful on how far you run these. I think it's 18 feet total is all you can run these cables. And the overall cable length of these, there's a form that's like 85 feet, so we're nowhere near that with this boat, because then all you do is set up another backbone, connect it with more power if you need to. I may end up just mounting that up inside there, because this will reach it, these will reach it, and then I'll just run one cable down to connect to the backbone that connects all the other computers and stuff that's up underneath here. And our internet actually goes all through that too. So sort of a neat system. More modern boats all run these, and so do aircraft and stuff like that. You can connect to newer engines and stuff like that. Sensors, everything can be connected to these this NEMA 2000 system. So everything's talking to each other and sharing information. So we're just kind of bringing the boat up to new standards, new displays up here for our wind and depth. Transducers. This came with a transducer. This is the transducer, and it's got a little speed wheel on it too. So when we cut through the water, it'll tell you how fast you're going through the water. That's pretty important when we're coming up the river. I wish that one would have worked, because then I could have seen how fast the current was compared to our ground speed. This one, though, is not long enough to go through. We have a 30-degree dead rise, so pretend this is the hull. It's 30-degree dead rise. This would have to go flush with the hull to fit through the hull. Well, now the transducers here is shooting out this direction, so you're not getting the correct depth of water underneath you. You can, some of these have a little gimbal in here that it'll allow up this certain amount of dead rise, but again, this wasn't long enough. So we bought new transducers that will reach, and you can see here's the other one. So instead of mounting it flush on the hull, this mounts with a fairing block, so it'll fit straight down on the hull. This fairing block, it mounts in the fairing block, so if I mounted it directly to the hull, it'd be like this. So what we do is we get a bandsaw and you cut the 30-degree angle on here, and so now there's a wedge here. So this will fit pretty much perpendicular, straight up and down on in the hull. So the hull, again, it's 30 degrees cutting through here. And so it'll be two pieces. Put one up through on the bottom, one through the top. We'll glue them to the hull. There's a bolt that goes in through here. This is actually the front part, so we're going through here. This keeps it from spinning, and then the transducer feeds up through it with all the wires and stuff like that. So This is a fairing block on a transducer when you have any type of dead rice on your hull. And then this has a speed wheel also. That goes through the transducer. So when it's in the water, and then this will spin with the water. And kind of a neat thing about this, and the one we have on here is very similar. It has a speed wheel that can be pulled out and replaced. You can do this while you're in the water. It's got a little flapper inside here that when you pull it out, the water that would be flowing up and into your bilge gets blocked by the flapper. It'll still allow a little bit of water in there, but the idea is that you can pull this out, put this plug in it, and then secure that, and then clean this. And they also say if you're not going to be using the boat for a couple weeks or a month, go ahead and pull this out, stick this in there, and that will keep this clean from growth. We will put transducer paint on this, but it has to be a waterproof or water soluble transducer paint under antifouling paint. The ones when we hauled out in Key West, I sprayed this transducers with the Pettit transducer paint, and it seems to work fine. The problem with any type of solvent based transducer paint, this is all plastic. It's a hard plastic. They say it'll actually deteriorate that. So there's a couple brands of transducer paint that's water soluble, so we'll order that. It's about $15 for a little tube of it. So we'll coat the sides. The bottom speed prop speed that we use for the antifouling, they make one too that you can coat the bottom. We may end up doing that. But the waterproof stuff, I think we can coat the bottom too. So this portion of the transducer is for depth, and there's actually a probe right there for temperature too. So we're pretty excited about getting this. This one will connect all the way up to the back of our GPS. This is the same plug that's on this one that was spliced and kind of jerry-rigged to make it work. But this one will provide input to there. So we're real excited about that one. This one we won't be able to use, so I may try to sell that if you need a transducer for a wind pack. It's an Airmar transducer. It's a DTS 810. They're a couple $100, but we'll give that to a friend or someone that can use that. Get our plugs and prop speed wheel for this one. All the parts, again, those won't go on until we haul out, but all this stuff I can start pulling the old stuff off and start installing the new instruments while we're waiting for our haul out. Stick with us and learn as we go.
Boat yoga.
Alright, this is nice, all the antenna wires and nice wired way here. It's easy access. I'll take this off and then I'll pull, may just be able to take the center one off. This one has the lights on it that are wired, hardwired. I like to put connectors, and when I take this off I have to leave it kind of hanging. This one I'll take off and that will open up the whole pack section here. Right center section to the back of the instruments. Anyway, just held on with some screws. Alright, here's our center overhead panel. So you can see the back side of here.
I'll have to come around.
And I'm hoping the new instruments fit in the exact same holes and I don't have to drill any more holes back there. I'll be able to mount that MD GHD10 or whatever computer somewhere. Figure it out.
All right, now what are you up to?
Alright, so the old instruments are out. New instruments actually fit perfect.
Oh, awesome.
The other ones had bolts coming through, well, like a stud that went through and sort of a thumb tighten nut on the backs. These actually has a little frame that goes around the front that hides the screws, so I'll be able to set these in here. And I've got the drill bit ready to go, and then mount it, and then this little cover goes back over it. So we just have two other instruments now. They're all combined. This is a sort of multi-function display, so it can do speed, depth, everything. You see we have 3 holes, so I think I'm going to buy another GMI 20, and then I'll have the depth here just like we had before, speed on this one, and then the third instrument, or the second instrument, is just set up for the wind.
You just could put a picture of me up there.
Could do that.
Because you're always looking forward and I'm back here.
So this one's pretty cool too.
So you're going to have to push the buttons frequently, or are they just going to display?
You just set up the display. So now, predicament is, do we mount them all level with each other? Level with the boat? I think this radio is about level. We can also see is the boat level, because we were listing a little bit. So the radio would be off level. So do we do level, or do we just measure off the black, which I think this is measured at the same distance on the black mount. Pretty darn close, so I think we'll measure it off the black mount, each one. You know, do it like that, so they won't all be level together, which is fine, but they'll be level with the black plate. I think that'll look fine. I think that's how they work.
Now what are we going to do with this big AM radio over here?
That, I mean, it's a nice radio, single sideband radio. It's got a tuner. The antenna is what we'd have to replace. It does power up. I've never used it. There's a UHF 2182 is the hail and distress, or the distress channel. I think Coast Guard still monitors 2182, but I think we'll just leave it in place right now.
All right, just a placeholder.
Yeah, if we ever decide to put in a stereo, we have speakers on either side. That was for the stereo downstairs. They're not connected up here anymore, but we can always put a stereo here. You know, put another plate like this and put in a decent little stereo. That I don't listen to music too much, but that could be an idea to fill in that spot, because this will take out a big chunk. When they take that off, it's all cut out behind it. This goes back about at least a foot back. It's a pretty big stereo.
Radio.
So here's the new one, and it looks like it's going to be a perfect fit. So that should be an easy install. There'll be 2 of them here. And then our third hole, I think I'll just order another one of these displays. There's 2 different models of these displays we have. I think I'll just get a third one to fill this hole in. And that way, you know, look better and not have to worry about patching that. So, alrighty, keep on going.
All right, what's going on?
Alright, second blade, first one went in fine. What I did was I just put a piece of tape on the bottom edge of this faceplate, and that allowed me to measure it in level. And I drilled 4 holes. So there's a little rubber matting on there in the back, little gasket. It sits right in. And I've got these little screws that came with it. Three of them went fine. The fourth one, the whole shadow, the larger hole that was for the other unit, there's like the larger holes here. So we'll see if it'll catch. I don't think it'll catch, but we just used 3, which is more than enough to keep this. These are made to be mounted on a console of a boat outside.
Oh, really? That they're water?
Yeah, they're waterproof. The sailboats, yeah, it'll go in there. Probably not gonna. No, it's holding its body. Sailboats mount these outside on the helm, or usually on. Some will be on the. It depends if they have a larger helm, they'll mount them there, or on the bulkhead on the outside of the cabin, because they need to, you know, be able to see the light outside. Okay, here's the little frame that goes on it. It just pops on. So now I've got 3. And either put a picture of you in here.
Or put the old one back up there right now?
Well,
It doesn't need to be a hook to anything. but-
I'm not. I'll just leave it open. I may get some black tape just to cover that. But we'll probably end up down the line. We'll see if I'll keep searching them, see if I can get one on sale. Because these are about $450 each. So it's not, you know, not needed, but it'd be nice to have a third one here, and then I can have a display and I don't have to switch back and forth. And then this is the wind direction, and this will be colored just so it'll match the color of our Simrad background, so that should be nice. And then these are LED, black LEDs, so pretty good there. I've got the 2 wires. One of these goes to the mast, so I'm going to crawl underneath here, pull that out, and I'm not sure what the other one went to. That was the transducer I've already pulled out, so we'll pull these out, get them out of the way, and then our new mast will either come in over the top or down through the bottom and all the way back up here. And then that little computer, I could even mount it right here to the top, because this is 1.5 inches of foam. This is inside gel coat, molded, and then there's foam, and then the exterior roof. So what I can do is mount the box right in here. I'm going to even use a real nice adhesive tape and just stick it on there. And then my 2 cables will run to that. And then the power cable will go down. And then another NEMA 2000 will go down to connect to our other NEMA backbone. And so we'll provide all the information. The depths, the transducer cable will come up this side, because there's directly straight down is down into the bilge mechanical room than forward, so it would be easier to come straight up through here, and then I'll run it over and it'll plug into that box, and relatively all set. So, all right, welcome back. We've got our displays for our new Garmin GMI GNX Wired Sail Pack 52. So we still are going to be putting up the wind indicator up on the mast, and we've installed the GMI and the GNX displays. We do still have a hole from our old Ray Marine tri-pack. We're actually going to get another GMI and install in here. So we'll have 3 displays. These displays are pretty neat, real pretty in color and stuff like that, high definition. So I could have my GPS speed like a car. And then I can also have, basically have 4 or 5 pages here for the displays. I think we'll use it for this one for our wind indicator, our wind speed and direction. We do like that. This one will be basically our depth, and you can have depth, speed, sea temperature, seawater temperature. I think what we'll do is just to fill this hole is again have this display, and we'll set it up with maybe our trip options. It'll give us our total miles that we've traveled. We could do a trip reset, average speed. I do like that display. So we'll finish this up. We still have our 2 transducers to install. We'll be getting the blocks cut tomorrow, installing those on the boat, running our wires up to our NEMA 2000 into our Garmin, and that will provide us all the information we need for this, plus our wind indicator. We're going to lower our mast probably once we get back in the water and install that. So I do appreciate you following along. Thanks for watching. Join us again as we complete this install with the shipyard yard with the transducers, and for more videos, I do appreciate it. See you next week.